We were yesterday outside, big space, and today we are inside for a reason, but this is also a big space, isn't it? So the 9S, I am very sure, it will resonate the farther side of the earth, the US, and today it is a Thanksgiving Day in US. Also typically 27th November used to be anniversary days. So we just wanted to thank the 30,000 customers who brought our e-SUVs. And there are incredible statistics which Rajesh shared with all of you. 200 million kilometers driven, 2/3 of customers drive 20 days in a month. And it's just an incredible that how it has become a everyday life of the car. And close to 9,000 customers have taken the vehicle 400 kilometers in a single day trip. That incredibly confirms the 500 kilometers range that we have been saying and 20 minutes that you can charge and the whole stuff. While this was going on with the two of our e-SUVs that we have launched, we were wondering, is it all about attention or is it about affection? So attention is easy, you know, it's likes and clicks, I want to take a photograph, and glances. But affection is all about trust, pride. This is internal, who they are. And they don't buy an EV, but they bought for their identity, who they want to be seen as, what they want to express, and the feelings they want to evoke in others about themselves. It's about identity. And that's the reason we think in 7 months we were able to sell 30,000 e-SUVs with Pratap's, the ever beautiful designs that we brought it to the streets. These were insights the two products are serving well. When history looks back at the rise of e-SUVs in India, they will have these two names embedded in the history. And they will have their space. When all of these excitements are flowing in, and another layer of truth began to slowly start coming out from north. A businessman from Ludhiana said, "Coupe is fine, but I want a big, commanding Mahindra presence on the road, a big e-SUV." Probably he was looking for it, I think. A family from Delhi, not far away from there, it's a different request came in. It's fantastic for nuclear family, that coupe that I have. But can I have something else, bit bigger? When my parents, friends join us, that extra space for them. That the real third row, and uncompromised features that you give it in the first row, can I get it in the second row, if not the third row? The big screens that you guys talk about it, can you put some screens in the second row? Can you bring in inclusivity and equality? It's the real comfort for all the family members, even in the second row. Why the driver seat gets all the automated seats? Why not the co-driver seats? All these stuffs started coming in. As Mahindra, we listen to customers. And innovation must integrate with tradition and culture. For India, SUV is not a shape, it's a state of mind. That's the truth. It came out from that layer. The future should not feel foreign. It should feel like the natural next step of who we already are, the lovers of big SUVs, the family space, commanding position, ease of entry and exit, kids play area, quiet cabin, feeling of I can go anywhere, the feeling of freedom. While it is already transcending to everyday vehicle as we saw the statistics, we got the big message from our customers for the next wave. We hear the customer voice, merge the heritage with innovation, give us our space and future. Who else we can go to? The Pratap Group. And before that, we went to Inglo. Inglo, can you get us the big SUV that the customers are looking for? The customer voice that we are hearing from north of India. The Inglo platform, which was named by Pratap, the Indian Global, of course has to take care of the North Indian aspirations, you know. It cannot leave out the North Indian aspirations. It has transformed the experience of eSUVs, and it gives us spacious cabin, a flat floor, unbelievably flat floor you will see experience in the vehicle. A lower CG means best ride handling and ease of drive. Drive so silent, stillness on the wheel, you know. For the first time you can hear your inner voice, not only your kids and families and parents. It's an unbelievably quiet vehicle. 500 plus kilometer range, it puts you unbelievably out of anxiety, and 20 minutes charging time. The vehicle will not wait for you for charger. You have to get your tea completed by the time the charging will be over. Our press release says we already released 180. We are releasing 180 high-speed charges. Now, stop worrying about the drive. Instead, start wondering, chalo, where do we want to go next? A big, bold, 7-seater eSUV, freedom to include, freedom to explore. This is what Naul gave to us. Velu, can we do something about this? It's about the equality, the inclusivity if you want to bring. We have to go to Binay and say, Binay, what can you do in the Maya? And can you bring in the lot of features that the kids are asking? They want to play around with the screens. They want to do something charging, whatever they want to do, what can you do? It's the most powerful mind in the automotive world today, and I will make it little more most powerful mind. The rest will be covered by friends. But something Nal asked, Velu, can we get that freedom? And I think he's going to define what the freedom is, but he's asking two things to be simultaneously to be freed up. So maybe we listen to him. Nal, over to you. Right.
Good morning. I'll spend a couple of minutes talking about the basic essence of what we have put into our new vehicle, 9S. Really, if you look at it, Mahindra stands for SUVs. So it's all about having a big SUV heart, yet ensuring we don't lose that electric soul itself to that extent. And so really the blending of these two things is what 9S stands for us. It's two of these worlds coming together. And it's rarely about 7 people or 7 seats in India. It's all about the feeling of togetherness, that innate Indian sense, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, welcoming people into your lives, into your homes, and increasingly into your cars. And that's really what the essence of what we have captured. Of course, it's backed by what we feel is the big opportunity out there. And we've spent some time talking about it earlier as well. Core SUVs, as you look at it, true SUVs, true blue SUVs with the DNA of an SUV, if you look at it, it's just about 30% of the market, of the PV market today. We talked about it in August at New IQ as well. Rest of the market for us is absolute white space. And that's really where we are going with this. With the portfolio that we have, 9S gives us another great opportunity for us to tap into that white space of 70%. And we'll spend some time talking through the different segments which gets us there. We have talked a little bit earlier about the previous BEVs capturing a totally different untapped market for us. Close to 80% of the customers who bought our BEVs already, folks who have never bought a Mahindra vehicle. And that's again going into that white space as well. So that's the opportunity we have that we are chasing. But today, it's all about space. And why is space so important? Space is the new luxury. And folks from Bombay, you guys know what I mean. And most of the cities in India as well. It's a very essential human need. And when I talk about space, I'm not just talking about physical space. That's important. It's about the emotional space. After a long, draining day, you're headed home. You want just a space for yourself to cut out from everything, literally, from the conference calls and the madness at home when you get there as well. That's your space. You want that emotional space. You want that psychological peace to that extent. And what we have really done is not just about the physical space. As we talk about the features you'll see, it's about how we can give you that space of your own personal space to the third space, as folks talk about it as well. So, a lot of folks have asked me, I know space is one of the S's. Why 9S? Because that's what everybody has asked for. Every single yes for us stands for something. And we listen to our customers across the country on what would they need. And we gave it that to our design team, Pratap. We gave it to our PD team. On for every one of these S's, we got a yes, we can do it from the teams as well. So we're super excited to share with you our big new electric SUV. It's big on all of the different features. I'll have Sintur come on stage and talk a little bit about what's so big about it, what's the big deal here as well. Sintur, over to you.
Thanks, Nal. Yes, Nal, we have everything what is expected out of a big SUV. A beast built on a state-of-art electric origin SUV platform. This time, it's much bigger, and it's a ground-up, bigger, all-new SUV. In Glow, it does not require any introduction. A modular and scalable architecture, I would call it as an engineering marvel, which was built as a part of our Born Electric strategy. Life is all about exploring new things, right? But the product is all about bringing innovation into that. As you can see, the number of patents and the design registrations, a significant progress since we met last time. The state-of-art in-glow platform comes with a bunch of technologies that makes XEV 9S as an aspiring SUV. Just to give a quick recap, because I feel it's very important to recap certain critical elements of these technologies. Integrated electronic booster, right, which has got a 200 milliseconds for time to lock, which is something must to have when you have a bigger and powerful SUV. And it also helps to get 18% of range benefit together with a coast down and recuperation benefit. That's the state-of-art technology we have here. A combination of a less number of steering wheel turning along with 10-meter TCD, that brings an outstanding experience behind the wheel, especially in the city maneuver, thanks to variable gear ratio steering. Suspension is always one of the unique, and I would call it as a hygiene for Mahindra's products nowadays. A combination of 5-link rear suspension, intelligent link in the front, and together with a semi-active suspension, a combo pack. Gone are the days we choose between ride and handling or strike a trade-off between these two. Now we have the best of both the worlds. That's the magic. Let's see what magic it brings in the couple of slides. And of course, it uses the LFP advanced technology battery. We have plenty of data. tested across the countries in the metros, which is approximately 500 kilometers of range. No more range anxiety, and these are all the real world tested numbers. And even if you want to charge, just 20 minutes, between 20 to 80%, just a coffee break, that's all. Your vehicle is good to go for another 500 kilometers. Getting back to suspension, always the SUV has the biggest challenge in terms of getting the right ride and comfort. In terms of the handling, these are always the biggest challenge, because SUV typically you sit at a higher H point. CG is always on the higher side. Thanks to electric, where you put the battery at the bottom, that helps to bring the CG by 8% down, good for ride and handling. But it takes the CG back by 25%. That's not good for handling, right? Because when you want to take a sudden lane change, you need to have the rear control. The rear of the car should be under your control. And when you have that situation of the 25%, it goes back. When the CG goes back, naturally you give the priority for the vehicle controllability in terms of the handling. When you want to give the priority for the vehicle handling, obviously you come with the trade-off on the vehicle ride, which is the primary and the secondary ride inputs. Eventually you end up in body rolling. That gives the highest level of discomfort to the customer. So the patented 5-link technology on the rear, I-link in the front together with a semi-active suspension breaks all these trade-offs and gets the best of, because the links are designed to handle the ride independently and the handling independently. So that means you can get both of them. And you can see, as compared to the market SUV, leading SUVs, so the overall ride quality, which include the ride, handling, and the overall maneuverability, is the best in class for our SUVs. This is something very interesting. Yesterday, Velu and Fred were talking about acceleration, right? They want acceleration in the direction of the car. But we don't want acceleration, because this acceleration is perpendicular. It is in the Z direction. And if you allow this acceleration to come inside the cabin, and you will have the highest level of a discomfort. And you can see when you run the vehicle through a pothole or the rough road, what is the level of the inputs, what is there at the wheel. But when it comes to the seat or steering, it is an absolute isolation. That's what the semi-active suspension technology has brought. Here, as compared to our past SUVs, it is even more challenging, and it has gone through an extensive trials to bring the best in terms of the overall ride quality. 15 milliseconds, just imagine 15 milliseconds is the time for the response. When the vehicle encounters a pothole or any rough patch, before the wheel sees the full patch of the rough road, the system reacts. Within 15 milliseconds, you get the feedback, the electronics will control the dampening, and it's ready to take the pothole. So that's the speed at which, that's the one which brings the absolute plus in the rideness. So the overall rating for the ride, it's really to the next level. And this system is a very, very versatile system. And it has got, as you know, you have a multiple drive modes. So this system is versatile enough to tune to each of your drive modes. When you drive in the race, of course, you don't want to have a very plush drive. You need to have a very grounded, sturdy feel in the drive, right? When you drive the car in the race mode, and you can tune the system for that. So that's the benefit of this system. Of course, our commitment stands good for the lifetime warranty for the battery, which is LFP advanced technology. SUV is trending, right? It's a sense of pride to own a true and authentic SUV. And when you say true and authentic SUV, it has to stand by its dimension. A class-leading ground clearance at the battery, 219 millimeter, and with the highest level of eye contact, which gives the commanding seating position, which is a core DNA of an SUV, and along with the overall height in the right proportions. That brings the SUV-ness for the vehicle. All right, SUV, you are fast and furious, right? You have to be safe. That's even more important. And this brings ultimate safety. The structure is designed in such a way that almost 82% of the crash load should not happen in case of, eventually if the crash happens, 82% of the load that goes below the body. Only just 18% goes above the body, above the waistline, so that the passenger cabin is completely protected from any crash. Of course, when 82% load, impact load goes below, the battery is also well protected. Similarly, on the side crash, you can see at the bottom left image, when there is a side crash, the closest proximity is the battery. But it is completely protected with a side sill, with a state-of-art aluminum extrusion protecting the complete battery. So even double the legislation load is not even touching the battery. That's the kind of a protection. Along with the ring structure all around the body protects the passengers very well. A careful choice of materials. Probably this is the class leading, the color is not matching, but almost 82% of high strength steel is used, which includes high strength, advanced and ultra high strength steel used across the car. That brings the ultimate protection for the whole car. That's about the safety. We are not compromising anything on that, right? SUV, what means? It means you need a speed, right? Speed. It is a 210 kilowatt power with a 380 Newton meter instant torque. It comes at instant. So that's the power what we have. Okay, now SUV is done, right? So we define this as a clear SUV. How do we give the comfort inside the cabin, right? Which is very important. It's not only just looking from outside as an SUV, but when you get inside the car also you need a absolute comfort inside the car. It's the cabin space. It's the whole space available for you. Starting from your bollover foot until the third row hedge point for the entire width of the car and for the entire height of the car. That's the complete cabin space. As compared to not only SUV, but also MPV, the cabin volume is highest in its segment. That's 5,200 liters is available for you. Okay, when you give the cabin space full, are you giving the occupant space? End of the day, they are going to sit in the car, right? After putting all the seats, everything. Yes, when it comes to occupant space, which is nothing but when you sit in the car, you have a leg room, you have a headroom, and you have a shoulder room, right? All put together. That's the personal space available for you to move around in the car. And for all the three rows put together, first, second, and third rows put together, the total space available for the occupant, still it is a class leading. Little bit more dimensions. I talked about headroom, hip room, and shoulder room. Some dimensions are given, which is eventually, it means the space available for the customers. Almost in all parameters except one or two, for good reasons, we have all the dimensions, we are in the leading place. Okay, so we said we have given highest space for the occupant, and you need a space to put your luggage, right? We should not compromise on that. Thanks to the Born Electric, we could manage a class-leading 150 liters of front space, nowhere in this segment. Together with a boot space, we have the class-leading total luggage space. So, you have a good cabin space, occupant space, luggage space. Means it's really big. So, all done. Now you have to experience the car, right? You have to get the feel of SUV. You have the drive modes, everyday, race and range, and also the snow mode. And when you have such a big SUV, large SUV, especially dealing with the 2 lanes or the narrow streets, if you want to take a U-turn, right? 10 meters is the class leading. Such a big SUV with a 10 meters of turning circle diameter is absolute class leading. The nearest number in this segment, let it be domestic or a global vehicle, is 10.6 meter and goes all the way to 11.7 meter, and we are at just 10 meters. That gives the maximum comfort. SUV, yes, speed and acceleration. Now acceleration. Fred, it's not the acceleration what you are looking for when you are Formula 1, but this is still the best in class. As you can see, it's just 7 seconds in 0 to 100 with a maximum speed of 202 kilometer per hour. Absolute thrill to drive the car. Okay, right, now you are getting into the car and you have driven and it's a wonderful experience. How do you feel inside the car? What do you have inside the car? The long awaited second row sliding. It's there now. And that's giving the absolute comfort for the third row passenger. It's no more a child seat in the third row. It's a full-fledged mannequin who can sit in the third row with help of the sliding seat. Reclining seat, ventilation in the second, right? The comfort is no more only for the first row. It was only for driver, then it's Velu and Nal said it's come to the co-driver. Now it's for the second row also. You have the ventilated seat and powered boss mode. So you have to push a lot. Now electric powered push means it's even more. Bring your own device. It's a more elegant device which has been integrated now as compared to the earlier launches. And you have a lounge desk and 65-watt charger. Now just imagine a kind of a plush drive what you have in the car, sitting in the second row with a high-speed charging cable and a beautiful lounge tray. And it is like a floating office on the road. So you can get everything on this car. Skyroof and ambient lighting, that brings the beauty inside the car. So when you are not in office mood and you can just take out the sunroof with the ambient light, it goes into the holiday mood. So that's the beauty of the interior. So silent. That's silent. Articulation index. Articulation index is nothing but when you have a conversation inside the car. The ability of the other person, what is the quality of the sound he is receiving, that defines the articulation index. Higher the better. Means the person is able to receive as much as possible when the person is speaking. And typically it goes less with the speed, but still you are able to maintain the class leading. So that's the overall quietness of the cabin, thanks to the acoustic glass and one of the best in the class cabin leakage in terms of the CFM. As a combination, it brings the wonderful quietness inside the cabin. Right? Is it that we have? No, we have both. Can I have Riti on stage, please, to talk more on the big SUV, please?
Thanks, Santur. So yeah, those were the first big fives from Santur, and I will complete the rest of the 9 stories. Okay, so here's the truth. After a long, tiring week, on Friday evening, what is that we all want? To just get out, escape. And especially in today's nuclear family schedules, where all of our calendars are all over the place, weekends are our escapes. So what does it take? One simple decision: hop into the XEV 9S and head out on a hill, on a lake, or that quiet corner where there's some nice nature in the outskirts. That's it. Head out and boom, you've just given yourself a mini staycation. And the real magic starts once you've parked the car. With super fast 5G internet, with 3 big screens in the front, with 2 BYOD screens in the rear, with 16 Harman Kardon speakers, with Dolby Atmos, and that to 1400-watt Pro output. Honestly, this feels like you've got your very own theater in the nature. And if you feel like, just lying down, drop the rear seats, throw a mattress, and just stare at the stars through the sky roof while listening to your favorite old music tune. That's it. You know, hotels charge a bomb for such experiences. And to manage all of this, we've got camp mode, a special mode just for this experience, where it will keep all the AC, your power utilities, etc. on through the night, while leaving that enough battery charge for the next day's trip. And if there's a special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or just random good mood, hit the club, calm, or cozy modes, or even our famous Groove Me mode, where the car turns into dance floor, because 9S, it's not, fun. It's not just one of the feature. Fun is the whole plan. Moving on. Now, nature trips, all is amazing until nature decides to flip its mood. Heavy rainfall, smog, fog, dropping visibility, high AQI. I mean, these are literally the things that you read in headlines these days. And that's when the XEV 9S quietly steps in. So with its one of the most advanced AQI filter, this comes with VR LED. It doesn't just keep the cabin fresh, but it actively monitors and fixes the air before you breathe. On those low visibility drives, one of, again, the most advanced ADAS Level 2 Plus gets to work with its 5 radars, holding the lane, keeping safe distance between cars, helping you with blind spots, just to take that strain off you. And that, clubbed with our Vision X AR HUD, where it shows the right stats, your navigation, everything, blind spots on the windshield, so that your eyes stay where they're supposed to. Okay, after all this, you're on a long drive, and if it still wears you out, we've got our driver monitoring system, Identity, that keeps a watch on you and gently nudges you if you skip a blink, just like a friend saying, hey, stay with me. Now, well-being isn't just a drive thing, right? Well-being should be beyond drives too. So say suppose you've parked your car in this crowded marketplace. That's when Secure 360 comes to play. With its 5 CCTV camera-like feeds on your phone, it keeps a good watch. And if you've got a pet, there is the Paw Pal mode to keep them all cool and ventilated for those short stops. Plus, we also have the 540-degree visibility so that you can see everything near, around, and even that tiny little cat hiding underneath the car. Because, this is India, our roads, our weather, our beautiful chaos. And the 9S isn't just built for it, it's built to rise above it. Moving on, big on, always on intelligence. Now, after all that well-being, care, protection, let's talk about something that tests us all the time. What's that something that, stresses us all the time? Traffic. Yeah. It's everywhere, these days. So just imagine your typical weekday. You've got your chores, errands, calls, meetings, school runs. Life is on a fast forward, and your XEV 9S becomes your calm and composed companion. How? First, the smart user profile. It knows you and your preferences. It knows your playlists, your HVAC settings, your ORVM angles, your seat positions, almost everything, so that, even if someone else used the car last, the moment you step in, the car feels just right. And then, with the scheduled HVAC, the cabin pre-cools or pre-warms depending on the weather, so that you're always stepping into comfort, not surprises. And then we also have scheduled charging, which quietly plans all the battery needs in the background so that you don't have those, oh no, I forgot to charge moment, panics between the meetings. Plus, typical busy day mix-up, oh, I forgot the key. And that's when you have phone as a key and the digital card with NFC, perfect for such moments. It will help lock, unlock, start, stop, everything, completely effortless. Now, you finally manage somehow in the traffic to reach the work, and then there is the parking battle. It's a whole new battle. Auto park comes into play, again, one of the most advanced auto park systems here for those tight spots during tight timelines. So that's how, when life moves fast, the always-on intelligence makes it smooth, hassle-free, sharp, and honestly, a whole lot easier. Okay, now let me admit something. I'm a Gujarati, and it's music to our ears when we hear something like big on savings. We love savings. Value matters, Sensex matters, and good ROI, pure joy. So of course, the 9S, it perfectly fits this mindset because this SUV doesn't just perform, it pays you back big. With 40% depth benefit, if it's a company-registered car, a running cost of about 1.5 rupees, that's almost rupees 10 per kilometer savings when compared to ICE cars, and zero road tax for EV-friendly states, and with lifetime battery warranty, that's no long-term tension, fewer moving parts, much fewer moving parts in an electric, a pure electric, so low maintenance, just rupees 0.4 per kilometer, practically nothing. It means 10 to 15 lakhs of savings in 5 years. That's huge. So in simple terms, it's big on luxury, it's big on performance, it's big on space, it's big on SUV-ness, it's big on intelligence, basically it's big on every damn thing. This is the SUV that India's been waiting. So ladies and gentlemen, presenting the big SUV that's pure electric, the XEV 9S. Can we have the AV, please?
Velusan, Nal, Riti, and of course, Centur. Let me take you through the design story. I've been doing this for almost 25 years, and I'm always excited to show you how we get to these amazing products, that the team defines, that MRV engineers for us. and how it all comes together. Now, the sort of 9 S's we used for design, are the universal truths of design. So you always talk about silhouette, you talk about stance, you talk about a seamless transition of surfaces, you talk about scintillating details. That's very important. Details are like jewels. You talk about a striking presence, space. We've spoken, almost half an hour about space and the bigness. The scenic view from inside out, sensuality in materials that we use, and of course, Mahindra is known for sci-fi tech. So it always starts with a sketch. And in the 1 year that we've had the 2 BEVs, the XEV 9e and the BE6, the XEV 9e, when you see it in the traffic, really has this identity. I mean, you can spot it from miles away. And that's what design is about. Design is about recognizability. So when we started the face of the 9S, we just had to look at its sister or brother or cousin, the 9e, and define the face of the 9S, which will be as iconic and as recognizable. From the rear too, the 9e is a dramatic looking car. Yes, the coupe profile, but also the tail light graphics. So again, getting some inspiration from the 9e, we designed the rear of the 9S. And then you can see, of course, how the design team really lets itself go to come up with something that captures everything that Riti, Senthur, Nal, and Veluguru want to do. How do you bring it all together in the product design? And this is the job of the design team. Then we take it a next level, refine it a lot more, and produce something very, very dramatic even on paper. So when we show this to the management, they have to say, wow. It takes a lot to get a wow from Velu, by the way. In some parts of this process and other cars, we present the design and Velu says, I'm not feeling emotional, which is incredible coming from a scientist, engineer, genius. So emotion is part of it all. And, to try and capture emotion is another thing. You have to distill this into this one image where we say, yes, this is what we go with. And you can see not only the artistic level of the design team we have, both in India and the UK. They are best, second to none in the world. Apparently, some of our design sketches are hanging in some global design studios. That makes me, very proud that as Mahindra, we are able to be a benchmark in global design. The silhouette has to be sporty. S in SUV stands for sport. So you should never ever lose that, and it's part of our DNA. So seen together, this is the perfect pair, the 9e and the 9S. Now, all that's great, but I spoke to you about jewel-like details. So a lot of care goes into designing every millimeter of the car. Literally everything that a customer sees, touches, and feels passes through the design team. And we take a lot of time and attention to get these details right, so that when you see this standing in your driveway or in your parking space or on the street, you really, stop and stare. And that's something we want to do, this stareability factor. So every detail, like I said, is worked out, not only on paper, but we go digital. And then we have our sourcing team who helps us bring all that into life. So we have to really break it down so that our supply base, our tier 1, tier 2 suppliers help us in this journey. So it goes through all the details. Now, when you go from outside in, the cabin space, the size that Senthur spoke about, that has to really come through. It is truly a space for everyone. Every row, every seat is considered. How much light are they getting? How much foot space are they getting? How much does the seat travel to liberate space? This class-leading volume that we spoke about for the cabin. how do you really optimize that through design? That's the challenge. And how do you make people feel great in the car? The third row is not for, a couple of your kids' friends who you throw in the back. This is a real third row for a decent journey, So there you see it, lots of light in the cabin. I think light plays a very important role, in creating the feeling of space. It's not only dimension. I think we also spoke about space as an emotion. Nal touched upon that. So you can see how the design team really expands that cabin, by using light, using materials. I'll speak about that a little more. So there, of course, the 3 rows. And you can see even in the third row, it's a proper seat. These are not jump seats. These are seats you jump into. Materials. Materials play such a key role in design. I don't think we talk about materials and colors enough. But it truly is the first visual or tactile experience that you feel. When you see a car, the first thing, yes, the shape. But the shape really jumps out because of the color. And when you get in, you subconsciously sit on a seat or you touch something, the handshake with the car, the steering wheel, all of that is you literally physically interacting with the car. So everything we do there, again, is considered, is designed, is deliberate. And, the touch of the hand, I use this picture because we may be building, hundreds of thousands of SUVs, but people should always feel the touch of the hand of the design team. And I think that's, a bit of us is in every one of these cars. Again, to the last detail, the color of the thread, people may not even see that. But one day, maybe in the 3rd year of ownership, they notice on their armrest that the thread is green. And that's something which is beautiful. Again, how materials come together. We have variants, right from the entry-level car to the top-end car. Nothing should feel, cheap or plasticky. And then, of course, colors, like I said, body colors are really the signature and identity of cars. All of you will have a memory of a particular car in a particular color. If you think back, to your youth, you will always associate a particular color with that car. So again, color becomes a signature. So just to sort of recap, silhouette, always sporty, always dynamic at Mahindra. Stance, visual presence, it's about strength. When you see a Mahindra SUV, regardless of the sub-brand, right from Thar to Bolero to XUV, XEV, BE, they're all Mahindras because they stand strong on the street and off the street. Seamless transition of elements. We love that. You can't, you don't know where one bit starts and the other bit ends. It's always beautiful to have that seamlessness. Scintillating details. Again, details, again, I don't think we talk about it enough, but details are something that really stay with you. You may not realize the overall shape, but you always recognize details. It's like your eyes, it's like your nose, your lips. These are definers of identity. So as we go along, space we spoke about, bringing amazing light in through that huge roof, the glass surfaces. Scenic, when you look out, you have this real wraparound cockpit, but beyond that, you have the unrestricted view from every seat of the car. From every seat of the car. If you're in the 3rd row and you're sitting in that one seat, the quarter glass is one of the biggest glasses there is. Sensuous, I mentioned before, everything you touch and feel should feel beautiful. Sci-fi, this is like sitting in a cockpit of an aircraft. Gul is a pilot. I think she'll agree with me. And then with that, let me just show you how all of it comes together in the product, and we'll reveal that. So can we have the design film, please? Thank you.
Later, later. Once we are done, I'll get the guys. Well, I'll get the Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. The interface team. Yeah, you guys can head out. Thank you, guys. Ganesh, thank you for coordinating. Thank you for the last minute stuff. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Hopefully. Of course. Correct. Thank you. Okay, folks, let's get back. Obviously, you're all keen to hear about the variants and pricing. We will give you guys an opportunity to take a look at the vehicles again. Just let's get back, please. We can get the screens to go back. Thank you. Okay, we'll give them a couple of seconds to get the screens stitched back. But I'll get started here. Let me spend a little bit of time talking about the opportunity we're chasing here. As you know, SUVs is 2/3 of the market now. But even within that, if you look at it, the core SUVs that I talk about, SUVs which truly stand for what Mahindra puts out as vehicles, greater than 4 meter, greater than 20 lakh, full maximum SUV life, if you look at it, that's 30% of the market. Greater than 4 meter, 20 lakh price point, ESR. That's about 30% of the UV market. It's about 70,000 vehicles a month in volume. Of course, the larger vehicles. So it's half of the market is in this space. And that's the space we are chasing here with the product we have put out there. So when I'm going through the variants, you'll see that we are starting to tap into a very, very large segment of the market. And breaking it up a little bit, how does that 70,000 volume break up? We've done a little bit of price bracketing here. 20 to 24 lakhs, that's the bulk of the market. 45% of the market is in the 20 to 24. So when we are thinking about variants, we are thinking, what do we do to address that space? Second is, of course, the 24 to 28, which is 25% of the market. And the top end, of course, will go into the larger segment, which is greater than 28 lakhs. And we're putting a product out there which starts to look at all of these opportunities across the board. You know, Mahindra vehicles will always have something special to start with. The features I'm putting up here is standard in our vehicles, but it's not standard in any vehicle out there in the market. Pano sunroof, starting from first variant, has a Pano sunroof. 150-liter frunk, class leading in the segment. 3 12.3-inch screens, and you can add 2 more in the second row. So you have 3 plus 2, 5 BYD screens included. 7-seater starting from the first variant with second row sliding for your space if you're sitting in the second row as well. So absolutely killer features, goes standard in every single variant of our vehicles. Now let me spend a little bit of time on the first segment, which is 45% of the market, which is the 20 to 24 lakh segment, and that's where we will put our first variant. This is pack one above for us. I'll spend a couple of minutes talking through it. There's a lot of features, so I won't get into all of them. And we've done a little bit of a comparison for you guys, so I'll spend a minute on this slide. We've taken an eSUV in the space. That's the middle column there. We have taken an eMPV, which is a 7-seater, and again, something which is relatively comparable to that extent. And we have taken the absolute high end of one of the largest selling ICE SUVs, 5-seater to that extent, just to give you a quick comparison. A couple of features, again, it'll take a lot of time to go through each one of them. All of our vehicles come with a 59 or a 79 kilowatt battery here. We have another variant I'll talk a little bit about as well. Can charge at 180 kilowatts. That means 20 to 80 in 20 minutes across the board. You get class-leading performance in terms of torque. Of course, 7-seater, we talked about it as well. So this is Pano sunroof. This is our first variant that we're talking about. You see the prices you put out here as well. You see the prices for the MPV. Again, I'm just kind of walking through the slides so that you get a sense of it. ESR, on-road, that's Maharashtra on-road. So 22 lakhs, that's the eMPV. Then you have the eSUV here, and you have the third variant, third vehicle I put out there as well. 22 lakhs ESR, and then the on-road is 23.4. That's really what we've done here. This is a full set of features, and again, I can't take you through all of them. You get a quick sense of it, and we'll show you a little bit of a variant film to walk through all of this as well. But it's chock-a-block with features, not something you would see in an entry-level variant. Unbelievable set of features Velu and Pratap used to put into this vehicle as well. Amazing stuff. Okay, good. So with that, let's just run the variant film, and then I'll talk a little bit about the prices. Normally, I ask the audience a little bit of, are you going to guess the price? But yesterday, one of the media folks came and told me, every time we put a number out there, you guys go a little below that. Okay, I did not expect that. Okay, so I'm not going to ask about who's going to guess the prices. Let's just get to it. Can we get back to the slides, please? Our one above variant would be, the 59 kilowatt would be at 19.95. And the 79 kilowatt at 21.95. I'll spend a minute, I'll go back to the slide that we put out there and just put out the comparison right now. So you can see, and the ones in green are effectively what we're saying are features which we lead on. And across the board, if you look at it, from an ESR perspective, the 59 kilowatt at 21.2, well below what the market offerings are at this point in time. Much better in range, much better in the features that I talked about, pano sunroof, you name it, 3 screens, everything. Absolutely phenomenal package for us, just starting with pack one above itself. And you get to have a 79 kilowatt battery as well if you would like to have that. I'll move on from here. So the next segment we want to talk about is in some ways in the aspirational segment for us, which is the 25% of the market, 24 to 28 lakh. These are the customers who are willing to pay a little bit more, but they want a lot more for what they want to pay here, right? So that's really what we are going with. This is a space where we're putting our second variant, which is our 2 above, pack 2 above variant. And again, a whole bunch of things which already come in from pack 1 above itself. But we get in alloys here. We get in a 16-speaker audio system here, which we didn't have in pack 1 above. We get 6-way power driver seats. And of course, some of the other features that Pratap talked about, quiet cabin and all of those things are standard as well. So really start to think about the first row, the comfort for the driver, comfort for, let's say, the first row itself. You get first row ventilated seats as well, which goes with that. And again, we have done a similar comparison. It's an MPV, the highest variant. We have the eSUV as well, and we have the large 7-seater hybrid that we've compared here because we couldn't really go with a 5-seater vehicle. So we took a hybrid 7-seater and put that as comparison. So you guys start to get a sense on what you see there. And you'll see a lot of crosses. So this is just factual information I'm putting on the different features we have and how does this compare against others. Again, gets a lot of green here. What you see in green in each of this is the features we are adding in this variant. So I'll spend a couple of minutes. We are also introducing the 70 kilowatt battery in this one. So we've had a 59, we've had a 79. We're building something in between with this variant coming in as well. I think the rest of it we've talked about alloy wheels. I spent some time. ADAS comes into this variant. So you have an L2 ADAS with a single radar. 1R, 1B variant comes in. Talked about the Harman Kardon speakers as well and the ventilator first row speakers. Okay, so with that, why don't we just quickly see the variant film for this, and then I'll get to the prices. Let's get back to the slides, please. Okay, so pack to above. Again, we're starting to put features which are next in class. You don't get these in vehicles below 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs, even 50 lakhs to that extent. This one, I'll take some guesses. Any guesses? Not bad, not far away. Pack 2 above goes for 24.49 for the 70 kilowatt battery, and then 25.49 for the 79 kilowatt battery. And these are ESR, as you can imagine. So once you go on road for some of this, they are well below what you would see in an ICE vehicle. So we're not talking of parity with ICE vehicles here. We are far beyond that point at this point. So phenomenal package coming to there, very excited. With this, we think, would be going after the 25% of the market we talked about. Very, very critical backbone of the market to that extent. So that's pack 2 and above. Let's keep this humming along. You can see the price comparisons here, and again, I spent a couple of minutes on this, and we are getting to a point where the comparisons becomes a little bit tough to even do. So you can see the hybrid here with the 7-seater. Now I'm starting to compare to the 7-seater. You're not even in the range once you start to come down to the on-road price. 31 lakhs for a 7-seater hybrid, and then you're sitting at a 26 lakhs price point on-road for you. So you're talking about 20–30% difference between cars. And that's what I meant when I said that the parity, I don't think it's something we want to talk about parity anymore. We're well beyond that point. So that's what it looks like. You see the other comparisons as well as I put out there. Anywhere you see on-road price parity, the fact of the matter is we're giving features which are way better than what competition has to that extent. So you'll see some of that playing out as well. Okay. Let's move on. The last segment, which is greater than 28 lakhs. This is our top end of the segment. And we come to a point where we're starting to compare with vehicles which are well above the 50 lakh range as well here. 30% of the market. This is also core part of the market for us with our large SUVs. This is our pack 3. And we've really started to think about what would that second row look like. This is generally a car which is chauffeur driven. The owner generally sits in the second row to that extent. And you'll see some of that coming in. Sindhu talked about Power Boss mode. So you get Power Boss mode here. You get second row ventilated seats as well. I talked about the first row ventilated seats. So now you're going to head both the rows with ventilated seats as well. And you get ambient lights. You get ADAS with 5 radars. It's a 5R 1V radar. So the absolute top of the class ADAS system coming in there. You'll get the AQI and VR filters as well. So we start to now pack in everything we've had there. We move to an adaptive suspension with this product. So you get to the absolute top end of that as well. And again, you start to compare. The challenge you see, you'll notice that one of them have dropped. I don't have a product in the eMPV space I can compare against. And I've picked up a eSUV there, and I continue to have the hybrid 7-seater as well. But you're starting to see price points go well into the, once you do on-road, you're starting to see prices in the mid-30s as well to an extent, right? So that's really where we are. Let's spend a minute on the features itself. You will see all of the different features, which are top-end features here in green up there. I spent a couple of minutes on a few of these, but there's a lot more here as well. Okay, I will move on to the variant films. Let's do the next one, please. Great. So this is pack 3. This is the variant my heart is set on, by the way. This is the vehicle I'm looking forward to buying as well. So the prices for that is at 27.35. This gets with the top 79 kilowatt battery here as well. So that's the price point. I'll do a little bit of a quick comparison here. And like I said, it starts to get to a point where it's a tough comparison to make. But with pretty much all of the features we talked about, our on-road will be sub 30. Well below what you see there. And again, like I said, you look at the hybrid 7-seater out there, you're topping out at 36 lakhs. So you're talking of a 20% difference to what an ICE vehicle, a 7-seater would look like. We've still kept the 5-seater comparison just to keep that in mind, but please remember you're at a point where it's hard to make the comparison here, but we said we'll put out there as well. We're lower than that price point as well, which is the top end variant there. Okay, so we said this is where we should stop, but of course, there's always something that we add at the end of the day. I thought my heart was set on this variant, but you got to do something which is a little bit above and beyond where we are. So we do have a variant for somebody who's accepting nothing but the absolute best in class, which goes above this, the pack 3 above. And competition really slims out. The only thing we could scrounge to compare it against is actually a luxury SUV, which costs close to 80 lakhs. And that's really where we end up with. And you can very quickly see what we have done here as well. So what we get here is you get auto park as a feature, which is an absolute highlight as well. And you get some of the other things we have talked about. 360 we've talked about earlier. That one comes in as well. Let me spend a minute on that here. So you get your cap touch switches. You get your AR HUD. You get DOMs. And of course, a lot of this comes through the 8295 Snapdragon chip we put out in pack 3 that allows us to do all of these things, and you get auto park feature coming in as well. So this is where my heart says I should go for a pack 3, and I know that my kids are going to say that you need to go one variant higher. It's likely that I'm going to end up with this variant. But amazing set of features, and like I said, the comparison is a tough one to make, and we are sub 30 still, 29.45 for the absolute top end variant. And very quickly, we'll make a comparison against, it's very difficult to make, I think the numbers have gone out there, but 29.45, amazing set of products, and you're talking of, not in percentages, you're 3x, 2x lower than where we need to be on this variant as well. So, folks, that's what we had. Amazing set of variants we put out here at this point in time. Each one in its price segment, class leading with terms of features, and absolutely breakthrough in terms of prices for us. So, open the cart. Starts on 14th December. Test drives should start around 5th Jan. That's not 5th December, that's a year later. So it's 5th Jan 2026 is when we'll start, about 6 weeks from now. Bookings will start on 14th Jan, and then deliveries will start on 23rd Jan. So well into our first Q4, the first month of Q4 for us, we should be able to deliver these vehicles as well. With that, what I'll do is, I'll do a little bit of a wrap-up with a video, putting it all up together. I know we've thrown a lot at you in terms of features, prices, variants. We'll put it all together in a video, and then we'll let you guys drive the vehicles as well. Let's roll the film, please.